I was like okay with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it at the end. The end. At the
The
end.
end.
The end. Welcome to this week's episode of the Toddcast, everybody.
Yep.
Yay. Um,
Yay!
I'm John. This is Justin. You know who we are.
Yep.
We've been through this before. Um,
Yes, we have.
at least we hope you've been on the ride with us before.
Or
Um,
if you haven't, welcome.
yeah,
Where we talk
exactly.
about pop culture, comic books, comic business, random music business.
Yeah,
So,
um,
general fun stuff to kick your
yeah.
mind off of the warped reality of our current society.
Well, or whatever reality you think you live in, because sometimes it can be way worse. But anyway, thanks for showing up and listening and watching. Um, anyway, yeah. So just a couple things on the store side. Just so you guys know, we're still hiring in Elwood part time, and we're hiring in Cranberry part time. Just if you're interested, just send a resume or a letter of interest to either Elwood at ndcomics.com if you're interested in Elwood, or Cranberry at ndcomics.com if you're interested in Cranberry Township. That's Cranberry Township, north of Pittsburgh, by a little bit, not by the lot and the one way up by Franklin. That's Little Cranberry. That's not the same. So please make sure you know which Cranberry you're applying for.
Does that get
Uh,
confused a lot?
yeah, actually, yeah.
Wow.
Especially people that aren't from the area.
Oh,
And
oh,
they're just like
that's true.
listening or watching or something.
Yeah.
And then also we have our 40 hours of 40 cent comics coming back again. That's going to be Labor Day weekend, starting Friday from 4 to midnight, and then Saturday and Sunday, I believe, are both 8 a.m. to midnight both days. So it's going to be a long weekend. I'm going to be there for a couple of those shifts, so you'll see me for a little bit. I think I have one on Friday and then one on Sunday, I think. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and pretty excited to watch people come and plow through a bunch of books again, especially if you didn't make it through the whole thing last time. Remember, we've had some stuff added to it because we add stuff once a month. So April or August, we added stuff to it. So yeah, there's going to be that. So, but yeah, definitely check that out. That's gonna be cool. Um, this
Everybody's been
or
excited for it.
yeah,
It was really successful the first time, and
yeah,
I've had people like because I've been working out of the Dollar Room in the Mills, and they're like, "You guys going to do another 40 cent sale?" I was like, "We are." I was like, "I don't know what the date was because you just made the announcement this week."
yeah,
So now I can tell them it's on our
yeah,
socials. It is Labor Day weekend, and I'm like,
yeah.
"There you go."
Um, and then not this weekend, but next weekend. So the 22nd, 23rd. If you're in the Harrisburg area, you get to hang out with our boss Todd at Harrisburg Comic and Pop Culture Show, whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah.
Um, and then if you're in Morgantown area, you get to hang out with Justin and I at WV PopCon.
Yes.
Both are going to be a lot of fun. I am kind of sad that Todd sniped Harrisburg from me because I really like doing that show. Um, but it's totally cool. We're gonna have a lot of cool stuff. We'll have the $3 Hot Modern with us. I think he's taking some $3 Silver Age with him. But then we're gonna have a bunch of other stuff. I just don't know what exactly else we're gonna have yet. I'll have that on Monday for you. Then we'll
I
figure
think
that
it's gonna be a lot of pop figures, a lot of Funko.
out. Well, we can, and they're gonna be stupid cheap,
Yes.
dumb cheap, like
Yes.
real stupid, real stupid. Like
Yep.
come and buy a lot of them from us.
Yep.
Like we don't care. We're trying to get rid of them.
Yes.
Yes, so it'll be fun. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. But we are
I'm
going to
very
do
excited.
a spoiler filled finale of the X-Men 97 at the end of this, just so you guys
Yeah.
know. So we'll try to get through everything
Yeah.
else quickly so we can
kind of
talk about that for a bit.
rant. We're gonna rant. A little bit of a rant. Especially after first season, this was definitely
No, stop. We're gonna do this at the end.
yes,
Talk about
yes.
your other shit you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, we're doing since we've been doing the celebrity deaths. The these two. Well, one hits me hard because it's on a personal level. There is Reggie Bannister. For those who don't know who that is Reggie from Phantasm. If you're a Phantasm fan, you know exactly who Reggie is. He's the guy that has the four-barrel shotgun. He is basically the hero, like the main protagonist in the Phantasm movies. He was the ice cream delivery truck driver. I think it started back in the 70s there, and he helped uh, the two brothers to battle the tall man. As a Phantasm fan myself, this saddened me a little bit. Um, I mean, these are old. Like these were before my time. Like I think what the first two were before I was even born. So, but I love Phantasm
Jeez.
as a horror flick. For those who don't know what Phantasm is, it is the horror flick with the shiny metal balls that have the little knives that come out and kill people. That is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
basically how everybody knows Phantasm. So Reggie has passed away. He was 80, so he lived a long time. Uh, and was it Christy Knowings, who apparently she was in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
So her family decided to pull the plug this week. So condolences to the Knowings family, who should know her and her twin brother were in Nickelodeon's All That show. She was
Mm.
from that. So Nickelodeon kids of that era, uh, condolences. And then one tragic announcement. She hasn't passed away, but she probably will be sooner or later. Is Lucy Davis uh, from the original version of The Office, British.
Mm.
She was also in Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was also in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she announced that her stage 4 breast cancer has metastasized into her bones, and it is incurable. So it's too late for chemo. It's too late for surgery. So our condolences to her and her family as well. She
Yeah, she
said
was the one that played Hilda, right?
yes,
And
and
yeah, and then it
she
was Edda in Wonder Woman. Like she was like
yes,
the
the sidekick, yes,
sort of
and
sidekick. Yeah.
yeah, sort of sidekick. And in Shaun of the Dead, she was the little blonde best friend of the girlfriend who
Mm-hmm.
happened to be in love with the guy friend, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, she was a very popular side character, like supporting actress. It's a shame. It sucks because from what I hear, she's one of the nicest people. Uh,
Yeah. That's what I heard too.
well, we just had Steel City this past weekend, and we had a little bit of a uh, hospital emergency over the weekend.
I didn't
Christopher
hear anything
Lambert
about
had
it.
to be taken to the hospital.
Oh shit! I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
because he had a fainting spell.
No.
He did come back, and they said he was okay. He got overheated and just passed
No.
out.
Wow.
He came back though, and apparently he signed autographs and everything went after that well, but he just had a stop at the local hospitals. So I heard it was pretty good, except I guess there was a an incident with Ken. What's his last name? The Asian American actor from Hangover. Ken.
Like Doctor Ken.
No, Ken. his name is
Yeah.
actual Ken. I just don't know his
Yeah,
actual
he's an actual doctor.
doctor. Okay,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
was a
know if that
doctor
was
before he was an actor.
an actor. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Apparently there was a thing about um, line rage. Apparently, someone cut like the line and had a giant Karen moment caught on video, and there were multiple posts about it on Facebook. Um, it did not go well. Apparently, Steel City kind of told people to shut up about it in
Well, I'm
classic
not.
Steel City fashion.
Listen, I'm not gonna shit on them because I'm not gonna shit on them because like that could have happened to us and it could have been taken out of
Oh yeah,
context.
yeah,
And you know,
but
like the guys that are out there, they do put on a really good show. It's not the same kind of show we do,
no,
so it's not, you can't compare it as apples to apples. But you know, like that sucks, and whatever was going on to make that person actually step out of line and do that also sucks. So, you know,
from
I just
what the situation was, like the multiple, like I actually knew somebody that was there in line when it happened. This girl just went off, or not girl, this woman. So she Karen, it was a Karen situation. She did not want to wait, even though there were people in front of her. So she just took it upon herself to cut in line. Now, I put it on the volunteers who were watching the line that did not control that. That is not acceptable. Um, I wouldn't exactly blame it on the show people, like, or the show owners, showrunners. But if you hire somebody to do that job, or they volunteer their time, do the job you were asked of. It could have been prevented, sure, but there has to be control to a degree somewhere. You can't control everybody, and there are care. I notice there are more and more Karen moments, and uh, what's the what's the male version of that? Was it?
I don't really care.
Yeah,
I'm tired
Karen
of
and
the phrase
Ken.
Karen moment as well. Like I just, like, somebody had an outburst. Okay, cool, it happens.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
not really,
but it's
not exactly worried about it.
yeah, but
Like I said,
it's
it does happen. I've seen it
yeah.
happen at bigger shows.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah, I'm sure it happens in New York, and
yeah, just,
that.
you know, like I don't know how it ended up. If they made peace with the person, whatever. I hope they did. I don't know what happened. I
Well,
hope that Dr.
I
Ken was cool with it. Like
yeah,
after everything.
they said he was the least of the problem. He took everything with stride.
Yeah, yeah,
From
and
what
then
I
then
heard, it
that's
was
that's all
fine.
that
Yeah,
matters then. Yeah.
yeah.
So as long
It
as
was
he was
just
cool about it and he made it good for everybody, then that's a good show gas. That's a good
yeah. From what I heard,
that's good for him.
this was his first time doing Pittsburgh, I think, too. If I'm not mistaken.
Um, that's his first time doing that show for sure.
Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure he's
I think
he's
he's
been to
done,
Pittsburgh before, but I
but
think he
not.
was here at like the Improv and stuff.
Yeah,
Like I think
yeah.
he was
He was
here as a,
doing
a comedian.
yeah, comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he has that because I've seen that. But yeah, this is his first like kind of doing a con circuit type deal. Uh, so
No, it's his first time doing this show because he's done con circuits when The Hangover was out. Because I definitely saw him at things.
okay,
So
well,
yeah.
I'm The Hangover was not really that great for me, but again, not my kind of movie.
Well, I mean, I like watching him on Masked Singer. That's all that I really care about. Like
Yeah,
with him in there. So he's done some other stuff that was pretty good too. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
mostly like the Masked Singer. And I want to say he did a guest spot on Scrubs once.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check that. But
But I heard
anyway,
him and John Cena were wonderful. Apparently, they said John Cena was awesome, so
mm,
that's good to hear. But yeah, I think that's about the general gist of my input for the podcast.
fair
It
enough.
wasn't, yeah, there's not much announcements from the mills or anything. Like we got more new dollar books. I
Did
can
they?
say that much.
Oh yeah, we did a dollar book rotation.
Um,
Um, they are fixing the outer ring of the mall. It has been ripped up. So at least it doesn't have potholes in it now.
Actually, it's
Um,
better now than it was.
yeah, it hasn't been repaved yet, but it at least has
Yeah,
been
yeah, but at least there's not.
it's
It's
been
flat.
ground out. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been ground out, so it's flat right now.
yeah,
The parking lot is not going to be done, but our
yeah,
our parking lot section actually isn't too bad anymore since they did those patches.
yeah.
But the ring around the mall was very bad still,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm glad they're fixing that. And they're doing it all the way around it too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
and then all the way up to Walmart. So that's
Uh,
good.
I'm sure Walmart had nothing to do with that.
No, it was the lawsuit that did
Oh, I'm
push
sure.
this whole
Yeah, I'm
thing.
sure they
So
pushed. Yeah, I'm sure they pushed it
well, when
along.
Walmart paid to get part of their own road to get repaved, that probably was not great.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
that was they had to get their product in. So I mean,
yeah.
it's um, more stuff onto the. I imagine a lot of those businesses said that they weren't going to pay their part of rent until that happens, which because all of them pay rent to the mall people, even though they're not mall spaces, because the road is
The
owned by the
road is
mall,
owned by.
and
Yeah.
that's part of their deal.
Hmm.
Is they have to pay that for maintenance, and they don't. None of the maintenance was being done, and that's what all those lawsuits were for. So,
Yep.
I'm just glad there's headway being made on them, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
We have gotten positive reviews on that where it's like they're like, oh, they're like, this is nice that I didn't lose anything out off my car
yeah,
driving to the mall.
all right.
All
Let's
right,
talk
we got
about some comics.
Absolute Batman 23. Yeah, it's getting spicy here in the absolute world here. Um, we get a conversation between Alfred and his daughter about Alfred sticking around in Gotham to continue to kind of mentor and look after uh, Bruce. And his daughter's just kind of being like, well, she's like, well, I guess you have your son that you never had type deal. And he's like, they talk about these truths that he taught her, and she talks about her version of those truths. And it gets kind of deep. Uh, Not the most spectacular way to start off the book, but it gives you a little bit more depth of character of Alfred and his daughter and their relationship. We get a little bit about the Robins and how Gotham perceives them as like they were looking at their social medias and how popular each Robin was over the socials. Um, and then we find out Harley and the Red Hood gang are leaving uh, Bruce as allies. So he's basically by himself. He's still trying to figure out how to deal with Joker, how deep everything goes. Um, and it's driving him nuts, to be honest. You can see he's unraveling, and his friends are trying to step in and help him. And he's like, I don't want any of your help. And they're like, well, this guy did this to us and we are going to help you. And he's like, I don't want your help. And it turned out to be like a big battle. His mom even came down and was trying to calm him down. And she admitted being in the Court of Owls. And he's like, well, you're going to tell me what the court did or how the court is battling the Joker, what his involved is with Joker. And he almost hit
Come
her.
here.
Like it's like this book got very serious. It's showing how he's unraveling and how all these games that the Joker is playing on Batman is getting to him to the point where he's shunning everybody. Um, and he's like, I'm just gonna turn myself in and I'm just gonna find out more on my own. So he just hits the streets. The Tim and Todd uh grab him. they capture him. Well, as they're sitting there celebrating, he looks up and he sees another Batman above them. And we get our first look at absolute Clayface. So we're adding to the pile of enemies here he's taking on, hence the cover here. And he ends up killing Tim. He suffocates him to death. And he also like pierces him too. It was a gruesome death. Batman unsecures himself because they had him securely tied up and everything. And he starts fighting against this Clayface. Also, Absolute Scarecrow comes in and starts messing with his mind again too. Todd wakes up and blames Tim's death on Batman, saying, "This, you killed him, you did this to him." And he runs into the street and disappears. This was a very intense issue, more so than everything else. It's not just him fighting enemies, it's him fighting himself. His friends and family are trying to help him, but he doesn't want any of their help, as he considers them more of a burden, or he doesn't want to see them get hurt more than they already have been. And my musical choice for this book was Creep by Radiohead.
Very good.
I thought that was appropriate.
Fair enough. All right, my first book is $1 Trillion Kid number 2, 2 of 2. This wraps up the first 4 parts of the Unbelievables. And in the last issue of the Unbelievable miniseries tie-ins, we saw his butler get what they thought was infected by a disease, like a computer virus, in the end of the Rockefellers book. So now the Rockefellers, Harlow and Hornsby, and the $1 Trillion Kid are going after his robot. His robot goes to a giant facility that has a bunch of robots in it, to try to stop him from doing things. And the Rockefellers tell him about how in their future there was a robot revolution overthrowing everyone. Yeah, not real great. But this book is absolutely fantastic in art. The storyline was great. They eventually get in there. They all work together to stop him. There is we find out that his robot actually has a mini version of the robot inside it. And it's Sterling Jr., the assistant's assistant, is what the $1 Trillion Kid calls him, because they all call him Junior. And the Junior eventually is the one who helps Sterling set himself straight again. All the robots that are there don't get turned into a crazy robot army. And then at the end of it, once he gets his brain or head on straight, he says he actually thinks that he was infected before this, like weeks before. And he's like, I don't understand how. But if you think about it, it was probably the drone that they killed, so that they were like somebody's watching them, because you find out at the end that Vanderbrook, the other smartest kid in the world, is actually watching them with these drones and fed the virus, and is we're pretty sure keeping the it probably stole his parents and Mr. Rockefeller, and he's headed to the island of Dr. Moreau, which actually exists in this universe. So they're trying to the Dr. Moreau has died, and they're trying to go and find his great grandson Max Moreau, who doesn't know that he's a Moreau, I think. Um, and then the Rockefellers borrow uh, the spaceship that Tommy has. So he's the they fly off into space because they've never flown into space and they wanted to, and the they're still searching for the Unbelievables, and they show more of them. So in next year we're gonna get Gene Genies, the Dead Tones, which is a band that's gonna be in Halo and Hornsby, um, Invaders Y'all in the Rockefellers, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, like this book is just so, like everything that Jeff Johns and Tomasi put out to me is very very good. So I really really enjoyed this book, um, and I'm gonna give it Judas Priest's Electric Eye because of how much it deals with AI and robots and watching and drones and shit. So, but it's really good. The art is fantastic. You can read it as a 4-part series. You can read it as just the $2 trillion kid issues. But it's like that whole universe, that whole Ghost Machine universe, is just phenomenal. I really like it.
All right, we got Wolverine number 25. I think this is the end of the ongoing series, if I'm not mistaken. The way the ending of this book was to me, it could just be just the end of the arc, which it is that. Um, we last left off with Wolverine chasing after Dr. Moore, who turns into kind of like a machine-like Vert Hulk kind of entity due to a virus that he injected himself with, um, and he also took away Wolverine's healing factor. Um, but as they were starting to work everything out, Alpha Flight comes in and pretty much just kind of ruins that and starts a volcanic eruption, which is awesome. Nothing like the good guys starting a natural disaster. Um, so as what is her name? Uh, Azenot, I guess is what's that the the new head of Alpha Flight. I don't know who this character is. I don't care. Uh, they always go through their leader pretty much all like they've gone through half a dozen leaders and they're all kind of jerks. This one is no exception. Um, but she tells Puck and Snowbird to deal with Wolverine while they deal with the volcano and more. Um, Wolverine tells Puck and Snowbird, "Hey, look, if I don't get to more before he dies, uh, I'm a dead man because my healing factor isn't working." Um, and as they're talking, of course, as not blasts at Wolverine and then tells them to do their jobs. Like I said, this leader seems to be a jerk. um, but Wolverine avoids everything as they're sitting there as Alpha Flight's trying to stop him. Because, even depowered Wolverine is still more than a match for Pocket Snowbird. Um, he does finally catch up to the doctor, who he finally gets calmed down enough to control the virus, to push the virus down, and tells Wolverine to insert his claw into his neck, and it should be able to uh, neutralize the virus, and he should end up having his powers back. within minutes. So that's what he does. And then the doctor says, good, because now you're going to have to kill me because the virus isn't going to stop until I can't control it anymore. Wolverine at first refuses because he doesn't want that on his soul. Um, but he ends up reverting back into the monster more version, and he ends up throwing him into the volcano, stopping the eruption. And then Alpha Flight kind of tries to, well, I should say the leader. The others kind of leave him alone, but the leader basically wants to charge Wolverine with like being a menace to society because he's a mutant. Um, and he's like, well, no. And he starts walking away, and they're like, well, we officially can't arrest you because technically you're on the border between America and Canada, so we can't really, do anything. But he's like, if we see you in Canada again, she's like, we will capture you and put you in jail. And he walks away. He kind of has a bit of a self-reflection at the end of the book, which is kind of nice. He is healed up. But we also see that he has his bone claws back, healed. He's all healed back up from his injuries, and that's basically the end of it. I kind of like the way this kind of ended. I wish they would stop doing the whole depowering, repowering him, and stuff like that. I think it's been overplayed way too much. But in general, it's not the worst story. The art is very nice. Especially like the last page is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It almost made Logan look more human than badass. And I picked a really odd song for this one. I put "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I felt it fit just because the theme for this whole arc was him kind of reflecting on himself, and I feel like that is the essence of "Man in the Mirror" as a song.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. My next book is Regicide by Patrick Kilden and Ludovic Lalite. The Light. So this book starts out with like this old guy who works in like the fields, and then this other guy with a metal mask that comes and finds the guy with the old guy because he basically wants him to kill all of the. He wants him to kill the lords and such that are trying to, or that are keeping all these people down. So as they get up there, he's walking and the other guy's on a horse, and they come across some what the guy thinks are beggars. He's like, no, those guys are going to try to kill us. He's like, no, they're just beggars. So he tries to tell them, hey, we don't have any money. Yeah, then they attack him and he kicks all their asses and kills them all. So they get to the castle. They get into the castle. The queen is there, and she's like, yeah, all this food's for me. We'll make you guys some soup if you want to hang out. And he's like, what are we doing here? And as he says that, the queen jumps up, and she has the bottom half of her body is a giant centipede, and all of her guards guys are like partial mutant insect guys. So this old guy and the guy in the mask proceed to literally rip the people's heads off and just kill everyone. And then they're off to the next place. Where these giant bees are following them. So it was super weird to follow. It's kind of hard. The art wasn't great. The art's good, but the story wasn't like super. I guess it just wasn't as polished as I hoped it would be. It felt very rudimentary, unless it was like translated badly. I don't know. But I'm giving this Slayer's Reign in Blood because it literally was brutal as fuck.
You can tell just by the cover.
Yeah. It was very brutal. I really enjoyed that part of it, and the fact that it's called regicide, which means the act of killing a king. Because
I feel like this.
I had
These
some friends in
images
high
are
school who
just-
were in a band called Regicide, and that's how I
Yeah.
found that out. So
I feel like this is like images like latest thing of a lot of brutal uh thing because Corpse Night is just as brutal as this. It
Yeah.
is bloody. It is, you know, and I've seen quite a few image books being like this, and it's kind of cool. Like it taps into a little bit of the horror, a little bit of the, fantasy, but
yeah.
medieval. Like this is like the way true medieval probably was.
Oh,
Like,
probably. Yeah.
how like gross, disgusting, everything soaked in blood and disease and all that kind of stuff. Like it's not sugarcoat. It is.
I don't know
very-
if they were physically ripping the heads off people, but sure.
Yeah, but I'm going also by like what I've seen in Corpse Night. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of very like I could see that being medieval French and English.
Right.
My
And
final book-
I did not get to read a third book, but this was going to be it if it was going to be
Yeah.
one. But then you read, I was like, Justin's going to read this, so I'm not going to do it. So
Oh, I had other options too because there was like the third issue of X-Men '97, which was actually really good, and there was another book I picked up too. So I had a hard time choosing this week. But this is Masters of the Universe number 6, and this is just Masters of the Universe. This isn't the Evil Swords or the prequel
no, this
to
is
the.
this is the sequel to the Swords.
Is it the sequel
the-
to the Sword?
Yeah.
Okay, because definitely it was dealing with Evil Lyn is the major focus of this book, pretty much. We get introduced to Garn and Princess Reyna, who are in the woods of Eternia, and they get attacked by the Snake Man. And then we are back in. We get flashed forward to training with Adam and Tila where they've been, training. And Adam gets a message from the sorceress through telepathy. And as this is going on, Evelyn is plotting Skeletor's death. And as she starts conjuring Scareglow. And we find out that Evelyn is also from Earth, which actually, that's pretty cool. Apparently she was from a wealthy family, but she was a scientist, not a sorceress. She didn't believe in magic. She was a scientist first and foremost. And when she, when she space traveled as a scientist, got caught up in the similar thing as
No.
Adam.
The co-pilot was Queen Marlena.
Oh, okay. So this
That's why it says the co-pilot skidded to the front door of Eterno's palace. That's Queen Marlena.
Okay. Well, that makes way more sense then. And that kind of ties into a little bit there too, and how the helm that she wears actually saved her life, because apparently, like, as you can see on the cover there, she was exposed to like poisonous atmosphere, and wearing that helmet actually saved her life. But she conjures Scareglow to challenge Skeletor in an assassination attempt. And we get a nice battle between Skeletor and Scareglow, which is kind of awesome. But before Scareglow was about to name Evil Lyn as the person who conjured him, she destroys him, and Skeletor actually hugs and embraces Evil Lynn and kind of gives him like a ego boost of sorts in this. Typical Skeletor, yeah, fashion. Meanwhile, as all that was happening, He-Man and the Masters get ambushed by the Snake Men because they were looking for Princess Rainier and Garn. We find out that the Snake Men want to prevent Skeletor as well. So there is an uneasy alliance between King Hiss and the Snake Men and the Masters of the Universe. Uh, and the end of the book, we're about to start this giant war between the Masters army and the army of evil. Meanwhile, a separate team, call them the SEAL team of Masters and Snake Men, uh, going in a different route to confront Skeletor at Snake Mountain. And that is the end of the book. I kind of like it, like getting that little bit of the Snake Men who don't get a lot of love in the Masters universe. I feel like they are very underrated. And they were some of the more fun toys too, and rare toys too, because the Snake Men didn't get introduced until like that final the final two lines of the toy line, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was like
Yeah, but I mean, in the story in the universe though, like they were what was before Skeletor, and Skeletor like took over their entire place. That's
yeah,
why it's
yeah,
Snake Mountain.
yeah.
So
So they were the original, baddies, but even they realized that Skeletor is more of a problem than they are. But it was cool. I chose for that one, "Run to the Hills" by Iron Maiden for the battle
mm.
part. I figured that was worth it there. But overall, it's sounding pretty awesome. So can't wait to see what the rest of that
Cool.
story is.
Yeah, I really like the art because it's Riley Brown. He did that Despera for me when he was at the shop a
And
couple months
Tim
ago.
Seeley's writing is awesome
Mm.
as normal.
Yeah, Tim Seeley really understands Masters, which is what I like about it. So
Yes.
um, cool.
All right.
Also, before we get into that, I want to wish a happy birthday to my friend Billy Tucci. I don't remember how old you are today, but happy birthday, buddy. I hope that you have a lot of sheet orders that come in today for it. All right, now we're gonna spoil and talk about X-Men '97's finale for the season, and yeah, that's just what that's how we're gonna be. Um,
Uh,
so if you don't want to hear about this or you're waiting to watch it, pause,
yes.
go. But also real quick, Super Troopers 3, also funny, very good. Go check it out. Better than the second one, not quite as good as the first one.
Isn't that the way third movies of a trilogy tends to be? That third movie always seems
Uh,
to be better than the second, but not as good as the first one.
no, because I can definitely like Star Wars is a great example where that's not true.
Mm.
Um, Star Trek, same thing. Um, Lord of the Rings, same thing. Uh, Maybe The Hobbit though, the third Hobbit movie, only because the second one was like very slow and drug out.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it just happens every once in a while, like or the second movie wasn't what they thought it was going to be, and then course correct for the third.
Yeah.
Because the second movie of Super Troopers was pretty much the first movie all over again. This one is a little different. It's Ramathorn's sister is marrying Farva, and he's trying to stop the wedding from happening,
Oh
and all
God.
kinds of shenanigans ensue. Um,
Oh
and
God.
it's very funny.
Oh
And there are
boy.
moments where you're like, oh, he's gonna do it, and then it totally backfires, and it's
Oh
like, what
nice.
the fuck? Like it's so funny. But I saw it last week before I went into the store for the pre-release, which didn't actually end up happening. So,
That's funny because
but
they fired it the middle
Yeah, I know.
cardboard.
It was a little lower. I know it was a little lower at some of the other stores. I don't know what the deal is, but Hobbit's out. So
Yeah.
if you're into Hobbits,
People,
go get them.
people are going nuts. I know that much. And
Yeah.
the card prices are insanity.
Yeah. So.
That is my comment on those.
All right. So now we'll talk about X-Men. So my whole thing about this
But
whole season.
Do we want to do the episode first, and then we'll talk about the season as overall?
No, I'm gonna do it this way. Like, this season started off pretty good. Like the first 3 to 4 episodes, first half I would say is not bad. It's fairly good, not quite as good as the last season, but pretty close. And then after that, it just kind of dips down. And then there's the random Polaris episode that's very good, and then it dips down again. Because like they felt weird, they felt out of place, they felt not anywhere near where they should be in the comic book realm. And I don't really know how else to explain it because besides that, because like they obviously couldn't do the continuity as it was in the comics because they fucked it up in the 90s when they did this the first time. So there's a lot of stuff that they kind of had to sort of make right. And for the most part, they were really on a good pattern there for a while. And then this season, like I said, halfway through, it just kind of and like dies out. And I thought the finale was not very good at all. Like the whole Rogue's gonna get the power of the Celestials to go and take Apocalypse out of Remy. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm like this doesn't happen in any comic at all. Like this is a completely made up thing.
They totally made that up for the show, period. There was no continuity there at all. I look at it this way, and I told you this before we started the podcast. There are theories. Now, again, I am not rooting. There was a reason what's his name, Bo, whatever his name. I don't know the name of the writer or the creative force. The guy that got suspended, or not suspended, fired, whatever you want to call it, because he was creepy or he did some inappropriate stuff. And we still don't know if that was true or not. Aside from the creepy factor in that, it was what else? Like there was no like anything in his background prior to this. But only God knows this point. Like we don't.
That's why I would never even state anything that you just stated because I don't know what actually happened, and I'm not going to throw allegations. Yeah. No, like nothing ever came out of any kind of allegations. They just said he was released. That was literally it. Like nothing has been officially stated as to why.
No, it's all.
So yeah, so that's why I'm not going to talk about any of the possibilities because he could have stolen a pencil. We don't know. Like it could have been something
but
stupid.
Apparently it was a fireable offense according to Disney, which again, I don't have a lot of faith in Disney. You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar corporation that just does whatever the hell they want. So you could sneeze in the wrong direction and they're like, oh, you're no good for us.
But like
F out.
I don't necessarily know that it was anything that big because he wasn't like escorted off the property.
No.
He was just said, hey, just so you know, we're going another direction type thing. Like So I don't necessarily know that it was anything
I think it was
bad. And they allowed him at all the premieres, so it can't be that bad. That's the way I look at it.
But because they let him go, they said he had a set plan. And he actually revealed this to several podcasters and influencers of this is what he wanted for the second season. And they didn't want anything to do with any of that. They redid that whole second half of this second season. Now, I don't know what was kept and what was redone, but I think we could take an educated guess of the Apocalypse part was definitely all him. Uh, but after the Apocalypse part, all those episodes after that, like you said, it was up and down. It didn't make sense. We were going back and forth in like, why all this? Why are we doing one episode of Wolverine doing the Weapon X thing, and then the next episode is Polaris joining the X-Men?
Hmm.
It there was no flow. The flow was off. Um, like I said, I'm glad they brought Gambit back because that him as a character, you have to have him in the '90s X-Men. I I couldn't picture him not being part of the '90s X-Men. Um, I'm still disappointed that we literally got this is the second time that they've kind of made Colossus a side character and virtually did nothing with him. And he was a big part of X-Men, like in the '90s. Huge part. And he's just kind of like he's a babysitter. He's watching over the kids in the X Mansion. That's it. That's it. That is his contribution to the team.
Well, you got to remember that before the original X-Men '90s show came out, they did that pilot for Pride of the X-Men, right?
Yes.
And he was on that team.
Yes.
Also, Kitty Pryde was on that team. She's nowhere to be found, and she
Yeah.
was a huge part of the '90s stuff because where basically where this should have started, Excalibur should have been
Part of it.
starting over in England, and that's where Kitty was after being part of the X-Men. So
Yeah.
like now is actually when Jubilee would have been started to coming into the fold. Like it's very weird.
Which
But yeah.
she was definitely one of the better parts of the second season. So I give props to giving Jubilee kind of a upgrade, if lack of a better term. Makes her look more badass, which I'm all for. I did not like the fact that they kind of pushed Storm aside. Apparently, that was another thing the creator or the director, whatever you want to call him, he wanted Storm to be more of a leadership role, like she was when Scott left, and been more of a leader. We saw her for like what episode and a half total, maybe like
Right.
the entire season. Like a lot of the X-Men that we wanted to see didn't really get a lot of spotlight. It was Xavier, it was Cyclops, it was Jean, it was Cable, which I'm cool with giving Cable more.
I don't
screen.
even think that at all. I think like this whole season has been no one specifically focused at all, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah,
Because like the Rise of Apocalypse parts, he split the team up. Then he brought all the team back, and then it was Wolverine. Then it was X Factor, or then it was X Force. Then it was like bring like this whole we're gonna try to bring back Gambit, and then we're gonna pit X Force against X Force and X Factor against X Men, and it's nobody's actual show anymore. It's very all over the place, and it's so not cohesive. Like, not to say the original version was very cohesive either, because there were definitely weird
if
episodes like that,
anything,
especially in the last season.
yeah,
But this felt like the last season of the original show
yeah,
more than it felt like the first season of this show,
yeah.
because it is just so all over the place, and just it didn't. To me, I didn't feel like it strung together a coherent story,
No.
and it kind of grasped at different stories to pull different things. Like, we never really got the New Mutant stuff. We never got Phantom X. We never got Beak. Well, I take it back. We got Beak. You see him in the very last episode, but he's
Yeah.
facing forward and he's reading a chalkboard as somebody's drawn on a chalkboard.
Yeah, yeah. You
But-
see some of the young.
We don't get
up and coming-
Zorn. We don't get any of that fun shit, like any of that cool '90s shit. They're now almost skipping into like the mid 2000s. It's almost mid 2000s already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Well, we
like
got that with the Grant Morrison stuff, which I'm kind of glad they did stick a little bit of the Grant Morrison because he is part of X-Men.
yeah, but they
Um,
didn't really do anything of that story. They literally just went, "Here's the costumes. That's
yeah.
it.
Well, and
That was it.
X Corp
And
was
X
also
Corp,
part.
and that was it. That was
Yeah.
it. That was it."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
it's
know
very
it was like we said, there was no cohesive story like after the apocalypse part.
yeah.
That's
It
when it
felt
went
very
downhill.
disappointing.
Yeah. And I have no issue with the whole Gambit and Rogue love saga. We get that now. Um, and that's definitely something that X-Men fans do love is everybody loves the pair of Jean and Cyclops, Rogue and Gambit, you know. And maybe to a lesser extent, if you're deep cut, it's Storm and Wolverine because they would be technically the third couple when Wolverine's not pining for Jean. But
Well, or Storm and Forge because that happened too.
yeah, which
So
actually I think that's still going on by the half an episode that we saw them together.
yeah,
Um,
but the only other cool thing that I thought from this season, or from the finale, the only other cool part of it was you got to see Storm in her black outfit, which we
yeah,
never got to see.
yeah,
So she's now transitioned to the 2000s outfit. Um, so that's why I'm like, are they just skipping all the rest of the 90s storylines, just going right
they might, they
into
might.
that? Because that would suck. That would really
Well,
suck.
now we got what they left it wide open, so now I guess season three is going to be humans versus mutants all over again.
Hmm.
Because we saw at the very end there that Creed won the uh, American
Election,
election.
whatever. Yeah.
So now you have a mutant bigoted president. Shocking, because that's not happening in real life or anything. But but yeah, you see what we get Mystique in finally. As she kills what's her name, the head of X Factor there. So she's gone,
Hmm.
which that's cool. I'm cool with that because that steers right into Mystique's wheelhouse of kind of just doing whatever the heck she wants. Um, a little weird though that she pops up after Apocalypse gets imprisoned and everything, which I kind of I kind of liked the whole Roe being like getting celestial powers and the Nightcrawler sacrificing himself. Um, because
I do, but
I
I
told
don't.
you, that was very on brand for Nightcrawler character wise.
Yeah, but
Now
it
it
just
never happened in the comics,
right.
but I see that him doing something like that. And actually, if you're gonna go, it was kind of Krakoa-esque, him sacrificing himself. Anybody who remembers the very beginning of the Krakoa era, when Wolverine and Nightcrawler sacrificed themselves, um, and was it issue one or issue two?
Well, it's actually more in tune to when he was in X Factor and he sacrifices himself for I think it's Namorita, um, and he like takes some kind of bullet for her, and he
Yeah,
dies, and then he goes to heaven, and then they then how does that work? It's I forget who the villain is. Ends up trying to go in. Azazel tries to invade heaven because of his connection with Nightcrawler, and that's when all the little Bamfs come out, and he Bamfs all the X-Men to heaven to fight to defend heaven, and then it rips him back into the world, but doing so he loses his soul. Um, so that's gonna like I'm like, so are they gonna play into that? I don't know, but
no,
I guess we'll see.
but like I said, you saw where it was going, like continuity wise, after the apocalypse. They're like I said on the previous podcast, is like it seemed like they were gearing towards Onslaught. And
Or at least Zorn, like at least the new X-Men stuff, because you have to have Zorn in there,
yeah,
and that was before that too.
yeah.
So
But
like they have to bring back Magneto before they can do that.
yeah.
So
But like I said, the leaked rumorville whatever information was, his plan was he wanted this huge gigantic battle at the end of season 2 where it was Avengers, X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor all taking on Onslaught. And I'm like,
hmm.
that would have been
I thought I heard
badass.
that I thought I had heard that it wasn't Onslaught, it was actually going to be
Massacre, I think they called
no, Strife. They were going to bring
Strife.
Strife in.
Okay.
Um
No, that wouldn't have been
which
bad either because Strife is
was just a different
okay.
Nathan Summers, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, we don't
because
need
that
to
would have made
confuse
sense
more
with
than
the
that.
setup of all the Akari Sun stuff they do at the beginning of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
So
But again, it's one of those things of they missed the mark majorly. Um,
all I want out of this next season is I want them to do the X Factor issue with Longshot and Shatterstar and show how they're related. That's all I want, because I want people to finally understand it, because it's so fucking weird, and it's that it could only have been written by Peter David.
are
Um,
are we going to get a Deadpool appearance in season 3 other than Morph turning into Deadpool? Because
well, last time, yeah.
he's done it in 2 iterations of that.
Well, we got Doctor Octopus in this one, so
That's true. Well,
um,
actually, and he was also Wolverine, so I
yeah,
like the fight between Archangel and Psylocke and Morph and
yeah,
Wolverine. That was probably the funniest part to me in that episode when she goes in and she tries to psychically mess with his mind, and Wolverine's like, "Ha!" He's like, "My brain's messed up to begin with," and he just beats
yep,
the shit out of her.
yeah. That was pretty
I'm
good.
like, yeah, yeah, that's a very
Yep.
Wolverine thing to do. And I was like, yeah. Uh,
All right. Well, either way, I mean, I gave this season like a 6.5 out of 10. Like, it was
I was gonna
for the
say,
most part fairly good, but
I'd
not.
give it
It
a
wasn't
C.
definitely not as good. Yeah, it's like a C, C plus.
Yeah.
Like I definitely don't think it was the worst it could be. It just kind of fell apart toward the end, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So
Where I think the first season, I would get season 1 of 97, I would give like an A or A
I wouldn't give it an A plus, but I give it an A.
Yeah.
Because there were definitely a couple
minus.
things there that was like,
Yeah.
no, I would just give it a regular A, like a non plus minus, just A. Because there were only a few things in there I found
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
minorly
And
like weird.
you
But
could definitely tell that, like you said, that transition, we see it, and let's hope that they kind of get their
shit together.
yeah, shit straight.
Yeah.
Please no use of AI to help you write scripts, which I'm taking a sneaking suspicion that they might try that, thinking that that's going to be better than actual
don't-
writers.
I don't think it'll be. I don't think they're going to use it for that. I think they're going to use it for the animation,
Oh God,
which
it's gonna
will
be
really
awful.
suck.
Yeah, that'll be worse.
Yep.
To be honest.
So,
It's
but anyway, go watch it, judge for yourself. Let us know how you feel, and then also go check out Nimrods this weekend, which is the story. It's a band that meets Green Day. They give them a shot to open for them. It's actually the story of Green Day told in reverse, because that actually happened with Green Day, and comes out tomorrow. So I may go check that out on Sunday. It looks pretty good. I still haven't seen the Odyssey, so I need to see that too. But anyway, we'll see everybody next week. By the way, next week's going to be early because Justin and I are going to see Down and Helmet at CHAE Thursday night. So it'll probably be around 10 o'clock next week. So we will see you guys next week.
Yep.
So.